You've probably noticed it yourself. A lot of everyday tasks are quietly shifting from people to software. And look, understanding how AI agents are evolving is pretty much the key to navigating all these rapid changes. So, we're going to map out the entire journey of AI agents, see where we've been, where we are right now, and of course, where this incredibly powerful technology is headed next.
Wow, okay, that's a pretty bold claim, right? But it gets right to the heart of why this all matters. This isn't some science fiction movie set in the distant future. This is a shift that is happening right now, and it's changing how work gets done. So the real question is, what's actually driving this change? Well, the answer is all about the difference between a simple tool and a true agent.
And this lays it out perfectly. Think of a tool like a wrench. It's passive. It just sits there until you pick it up and tell it what to do. An agent, though, that's a whole different ballgame. It's proactive. It understands your goal, figures out the steps to get there, and then it goes and does it on its own. That one fundamental shift from just responding to prompts to actually acting is what's fueling this entire revolution.
And the money backs this up big time. We're not talking about some niche experimental tech here. This is a massive multi-billion-dollar market, and it's growing at an incredible pace. It's that economic engine that makes it so important for us to understand how this all developed, starting from the very beginning.
So, let's rewind a bit and look at the past. In these early stages, AI was really just a tool, but it was laying all the essential groundwork for everything that was about to come. The journey starts here, at stage 1, reactive machines. This was the most basic form of AI you can imagine, operating on super simple, predictable logic that humans had to write for it.
This stage was really straightforward. Humans wrote the whole playbook. If this happens, then you do that. A perfect example is IBM's Deep Blue, the computer that played chess. It was amazing at chess because it just followed this huge, strict rulebook. But, and this is a big but, if it ran into anything that wasn't in its rulebook, it would just stall. It couldn't learn or adapt. And that made it crystal clear that just hard-coding rules wasn't going to cut it in the messy, unpredictable real world.
So, that huge limitation naturally led to the next step in the evolution, AI that could actually learn from the past. And this crucial new ability brings us to stage 2, limited memory.
You use this technology every single day, probably without even thinking about it. Your Netflix recommendations, how your bank spots fraud, that's all limited memory AI. And these systems got scary good at spotting patterns in old data. I mean, way better than humans at very specific, narrow tasks. But here's the key. They were still fundamentally reactive. They were much smarter tools, for sure, but they still had to wait for you to do something first. They couldn't plan ahead.
Okay, so that brings us to right now, the present day. And this is where the story takes a massive pivot. This is the moment we start to see AI transform from just a passive tool into an active participant.
This next phase, stage 3, is often called theory of mind. And this is really when AI started to feel less clunky and more genuinely useful. It's all about the big shift from just processing your commands to actually understanding your intent, getting not just what you said, but what you meant.
We really saw this start to take off around 2023. Think of a tool like GitHub Copilot. It doesn't just see a line of code, it understands what the developer is trying to build. These systems could follow really long back-and-forth conversations. But, and here was the big bottleneck, while they totally understood your goal, you still had to prompt them for every single step. They couldn't just go and act on their own. And that bottleneck leads us directly to where we are right now, stage 4. This is the moment that bottleneck finally shatters and AI makes the critical leap from being a respondent to becoming an autonomous worker. This is the absolute game changer. An agent at this stage doesn't just understand your goal to book a flight. No, it can actually connect to the airline's system, its API. It can check your calendar, and then it can complete the purchase for you. And this isn't a fantasy. Get this, 7 out of 10 companies are already using or testing this level of autonomy. The capability is here, today. Companies are just rolling it out carefully, balancing all that power with reliability. This is the stage where work really begins to transform.
So, if that's where we are today, what's just over the horizon? Well, the next stages push way beyond simple autonomy and into some truly transformative territory.
The next step is stage 5, creative collaborators. Now, we're not just talking about one agent working alone, but entire teams of agents working together on a goal. For example, just imagine one AI researching market trends, another one designing product prototypes from that data, and a third AI trying to break those designs to stress test them. Research from places like Google DeepMind and MIT already shows this kind of teamwork can solve complex problems so much faster, potentially cutting project timelines from weeks down to just days.
After collaboration, we get to stage 6, artificial general intelligence, or AGI. This is kind of the holy grail for AI researchers. This is the point where a single AI system can flexibly jump between completely different tasks, like analyzing legal documents, then writing code, then planning logistics, all without needing to be retrained for each job. The key here isn't just speed, it's about being versatile enough to do, well, almost anything. And this is the central focus for all the major AI labs right now.
And that brings us to the final, most speculative stage, superintelligence. This is the idea of an AI that could outperform humans across pretty much every cognitive task. Now, there's absolutely no agreement on when or even if this could happen. But the mere possibility is already shaping serious, real-world policy discussions on AI safety and governance at highest levels, like the UN and the EU.
So, we've just walked through all 7 stages, from simple rule followers all the way to superintelligence. So why does organizing it this way actually matter? What's the big picture takeaway from this whole evolutionary path?
Well, when you lay it all out like this, a really clear pattern emerges. Each stage is defined by removing a human dependency. First, AI stopped needing us to write every single rule. Then, it stopped needing us to explain our intent, and right now, it's learning to take action without our direct command. This relentless march towards greater autonomy, that is the engine driving this entire technological revolution.
Ultimately, the point of mapping out these stages isn't to inspire fear or hype, it's to provide clarity. This framework is like a mental model you can use to accurately see what AI can do today, what its limitations are, and the direction it's headed next.
We aren't at the beginning of this curve, and we certainly aren't at the end. We're right in the middle, which, historically, is where the biggest changes always happen. So the final question is a personal one. Knowing this progression, where will you fit in the next stage?